Hey everybody, what are y'all doing? It's Cliff Goat, aka the boy KP, straight from the LV. And just as I promised on my Sentry Gun Ponage gameplay, I bring you my Heisman prediction video featuring Modern Warfare 3 PC free-for-all footage from Terminal. This will be the final non-Black Ops 2 video I post to my YouTube from the Call of Duty series, as I will be posting only Black Ops 2 COD footage from now on. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. College football fans, you know what day it is. Today is Heisman Selection Saturday. 3 outstanding college football players have been selected as finalists for the Heisman Trophy Award, and they are Colin Klein, quarterback from Kansas State, Manti Te'o, linebacker from Notre Dame, and my number one pick to win it all, Johnny Football Manziel from Texas A&M. So let me talk a little bit about each Heisman finalist. Colin Klein from Kansas State led the Wildcats to an 11-1 season this year, only losing to Baylor, who was 4-5 at the time, knocking Kansas State out of the front-runner spot for the BCS national title game. Statistically, Klein had an excellent year, throwing for 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 2,490 yards, and about a 66% completion percentage off of 272 attempts, with just a little over 9 yards an attempt, with a quarterback rating of about 152. Although he put some pretty good numbers, I don't feel like Klein really had a signature game at all. Let's face it, Kansas State won 9 of its 12 games by at least 13 points, and for their other 2 wins against Oklahoma and Iowa State, Klein didn't even throw for a touchdown. I don't feel like a candidate should win the Heisman if he does not have at least a signature moment during the season. I don't feel like Klein had one of those moments that made me go, wow. But if any of you feel like he had a Heisman moment, please post it in the comments below. Also, I'd like to point out that Kansas State's passing offense in general was anemic. Kansas State only generated about 212 passing yards a game, ranked 86th in the nation, and only 2,545 total yards throughout the course of the season, ranked 89th in the nation. Those stats don't rank well nationally, especially against the third finalist I will mention in this video, who is my pick to win the Heisman Trophy. I feel like Klein is just a concession finalist. There's no chance in hell he wins the Heisman. He's clearly not even the best quarterback out of the Heisman finalists. So even though I don't like to do this, I'm writing the guy off. Simple as that. Next up, from the 2012 Heisman Trophy finalists, is linebacker Manti Te'o from the University of Notre Dame. Manti Te'o led the Irish defense as Notre Dame glistened to a perfect 12-0 this season, securing a spot in the BCS national title game next month against Alabama Crimson Tide. This guy is freaking amazing. Have y'all seen him play? He's totaled over 103 tackles, 52 solo, caused 1.5 sacks, which is kind of low, 7 interceptions, really good, and had a forced fumble. He made that big interception against Oklahoma and led an epic goal line stand against USC earlier this season. Those are 2 signature Heisman moments that will go a long way in Heisman voters' eyes, and people will remember this many years down the road. He is one of the biggest reasons Notre Dame is 12-0, and he also has a story. Manti's girlfriend and grandmother passed away this year, and on the same week, he still played against Michigan days later to lead his team to a 13-6 victory. That's balls and heart, my friend. When you have the intangibles to do what Manti Te'o did, you gotta feel good for this guy. He's a true leader, football player, and a man's man. This guy has the resume to win the Heisman Trophy as well as the intangibles. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did win it. But now, here's my number one pick to win the Heisman. I vote for Johnny Football Manziel to win the 2012 Heisman Trophy, not just because he is a freshman. I mean, that would be preposterous for anybody to use classification as a prime reason to vote or not vote a finalist with the number one pick. However, the 2012 Davey O'Brien Award winner did post the greatest single-season SEC quarterback stats ever, throwing for 3,419 yards with a 68% completion percentage, 8.55 yards attempt, 24 touchdowns to 8 picks with a QB rating of 156. Also, he rushed for over 1,100 yards. That's 6.4 yards a run with 19 touchdowns. That's all rushing in the SEC. He led A&M to victory at the Alabama Crimson Tide and won thrillers against Ole Miss 30-27 and Louisiana Tech 59-57. So it's apparent that this guy can win you some close games. He also set the SEC single game passing mark at 453 yards against Arkansas. I could go on with all the achievements this guy's knocked out of the way. This kid absolutely lit up the SEC this year. With the exception of Cam Newton 2 seasons ago, no quarterback has ever, almost single-handedly, dominated the SEC like this. Yes, Manziel's team did lose against Florida his first game early on, and LSU, where he did stink up the joint with 3 interceptions. However, Manziel did recover the final 5 games of the season, throwing for at least a 155.9 rating and at least 70% completion percentage. That's consistency right there. And even though Manti Te'o technically had better consistency, I'm just impressed with Johnny Manziel overall. I really think that he deserves the Heisman. So, I just gave you so many reasons to pick Johnny Manziel to win the Heisman. And if those aren't good enough reasons, then either you must be blind or you really do believe in Manti Te'o's cause a little bit more. Manti Te'o plays for, now keep track of my buzzwords here, number 1, 12-0, Notre Dame. I mean, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. True, he is a leader among men and has a story to share. I think that if anything, Manti Te'o will boost his Heisman stock in the interviews he will have with former Heisman Trophy winners who are also voters. However, I still think Manziel has an edge because no exclusively defensive player has ever won the Heisman. Manti Te'o isn't even a record-breaking linebacker, stats-wise. Now, I will admit, he did win, 6 awards at the College Football Awards ceremony Thursday night? More than any other player's ever won, I believe. That is pretty amazing, and you got to think he's looking to be the favorite going into Saturday's Heisman Trophy presentation, knowing how people have voted across the nation, media members and other football minds out there. But then again, Manziel is in the SEC. But then again, if you're part of the stubborn voter pool who thinks that freshmen should not be allowed to win the Heisman, then I think you're full of shit. Heisman Award goes to clearly the most outstanding college football player in America. I believe that guy is Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. If Johnny Manziel does not win the Heisman, it's because of Manti Te'o's intangibles, as well as the fact he's a senior and part of the number 1 Notre Dame football team. I feel that biases will play a huge part in determining this year's Heisman Trophy winner more than usual, since you have 2 oddballs. You have 1 exclusive defensive player, and then you have someone who is a freshman. Typically, you never see a freshman, never, and you never see a defensive player win the Heisman Trophy Award. So I feel that the biases will play a huge part, a little bit more than usual. But even though I'm a Texas A&M fan, my Heisman vote goes to Johnny Football Manziel. So there you have it. That's my Heisman vote order. Johnny Manziel gets my first vote, followed by Manti Te'o at number 2, then Colin Klein at a distant 3rd. If you enjoyed watching the video, please click like, share, and favorite. Subscribe to my channel here at youtube.com/cliffgoat and follow me at Twitter at Kelly Parker. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you all in the next video.